What's up everyone, it's your boy VenomousStare, back with another first-person VOD. This time we're going to be talking about Protoss versus Protoss, and we're going to be doing a proxy robo build with Robo Bay also proxied. So we're going to be making disruptors with the warp prism and trying to do severe damage via harassment and micro. So the idea here is to hide the robo from your opponent and then use a warp prism with your first disruptor to surprise your opponent, and then the shock of it will make them take more severe damage because they won't be ready for it. They won't even be able to register that threat, if you know what I mean. Like, your opponent won't even consider that possibility of being harassed in that way at that time in the game. So I made my second pylon out by the fourth base, and that's where I'm going to make my proxy. And if you don't know what a proxy is, it's just where you make a building somewhere on the map that's not your base to hide it from your opponent. So I make the robo there. The reason I don't make it right here is because I don't want, if I end up going immortal or something, I don't want to put it here and block myself in like an idiot. Warp gate, of course, I start as soon as I have the gas. Same with the mothership core. Now I'm going to add my second and third gate pretty soon. However, we do need to consider that rushing this disruptor with warp prism combo is the crux of this build. Soon as this soon as this robo facility finishes, we're going to make the robo support bay. After that, as soon as we have the minerals, boom, chrono boost right on the warp prism. The warp prism is very important because it enables us to harass even before we have the disruptor as a general concept. Not really so much with this build, because we are really rushing out the fastest possible disruptor. My second and third gates finish. I send a probe over to make a pylon. The idea is to do a pseudo frontal attack and use that to distract my opponent and then do big damage with the disruptor. So I'll kick it down to normal. I warp in 3 stalkers immediately here and start to focus his stalker because his stalker shoots up. I see him running more stalkers down, and here I'm going to try to kill probes. And I get a few. Not great, but I get a few. My micro is a little bit sloppy here and I lose my mothership core. But I have not microed the disruptor a lot, to be honest. There I pick off a stalker as he's warping in and immediately retreat. The idea with staying to pick off that stalker was to bait him. And then he would chase my army too far out and I would be able to warp in zealots in his main and shut down mining. After that, notice this Artosis pylon right here. I don't know for sure if I go to everyone, I'm correct. This pylon powers these 2 structures, 2 gateways and a robo. I see that he has an expansion. I can deduce, he's floating a lot of money here, granted, but I can keep in mind that I made him shut down mining. I can deduce that he does not have any more than 3 gateways really, because he also has a robo. So let's see what he does. He runs up, dies. He's been so busy trying to micro his units at the front, he hasn't been warping in appropriately, and he's also been being harassed with disruptors in his main. At this point, I'm going to kill his Artosis pylon, and he's not going to be able to spend his money. If he had SimCity'd better, maybe he would be able to warp in twice and then do an overcharge, but at this point, he sees that I kill his pylon, 3 of his crucial buildings power down. He can't photon overcharge and he's forced to leave. Now that's part of the strength of the warp prism, is oftentimes you can catch your opponent's weak points that they never expect to be able to be exploited. Now granted, this guy floated a lot of money. You can still use this build order and have success with it. If you enjoyed the video, click subscribe down low. It's completely free and you'll be notified when I make new videos. Hope you enjoyed that PvP commentary.